Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their Luxe Life.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome back to another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. I have my co-host with me, Shannon Richmond. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
How are you today?
I'm always good.
Good. Why don't you introduce our guest today?
We have a very exciting guest in the house today. We have Larry Thompson, Jr. He's with Grand Slam Sports Tournaments, and when you hear what he has been bringing and doing to our community, you'll be blown away.
Right. So, Larry, tell us about the tournament, how it originated, and let's just hear about that.
Oh, how it originated. That was a long time ago. Basically my son played travel baseball as a youngster, and when he was 10 years old, the travel team he was on decided to go to Las Vegas for a big tournament. So we went out there, and I remember sitting there thinking, they're not doing a very good job of this. So my ego got the best of me. So for 2 years, I just jotted down a business plan as if one day maybe I could do something. And one day I decided to do something and started up a little company called Grand Slam. And here we are 18 years later. So it's been a good ride. But no, it just decided that's what I wanted to do. I felt like we could run good tournaments and put kids first and not be all about the dollar like a lot of the organizations were at the time and still are. And just, it took off. We were very blessed.
So when you did your first tournament, how many teams did you have, and were they mainly local teams?
We had 42 teams in Columbus, Georgia on Halloween weekend of 2004.
Oh, wow.
It was a little chilly. I remember it. It was at South Commons Park in Columbus, a little chilly, but we had a great time. We made some good money, and it was like, maybe, and it was going to be a one-time a month thing, and the next thing you know, it took off.
Yeah. So now here we are, years later, and you have it here in PCB, and tell us the size and scope of the tournament now. So it's not just one weekend, though.
No. So 18 years ago, when we first started Grand Slam, we ended up having our first World Series here that year as well, and it was a weekend. It was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a 4-day event. We had 61 teams, and I'm thinking this is awesome. And so the next year we had almost 90 teams. And so then I'm thinking we might need a few more days. So we went from 4 days to a full week. And then over the course of time, we went to 2 weeks and then 3 weeks and now 4 full weeks. And just culminated this past summer with the biggest summer we've ever had. So we needed 4 full weeks.
And how many teams did you have?
We had 543 teams
Wow.
from 25 different states.
Wow.
Unreal. And what ages were?
This was 8-year-olds up to 18-year-olds, but predominantly 8-year-olds through 14.
Okay, that's
Wow.
unreal. And
So what kind of impact does that do for our beaches? Like, how many people do you bring to our beaches?
The impact is both, for me, it's all positive, but I know for a lot of people the traffic is a negative. Because during this time, the traffic is pretty bad. It's tough to get around here a little bit. But the hotels are full, the condos are full, the restaurants are full, the attractions are full. And this year we, according to the TDC, our economic impact for our events was a little over $30 million.
Good gracious.
That's not
huge.
a little piece of money.
No.
And we were... As a matter of fact, today we were notified that Sports and Events Destination Magazine recognized our World Series events and Visit Panama City Beach as a champion of economic excellence because of the numbers that we did have this past year and even last year during the pandemic. So,
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
a huge
Yeah,
honor.
we were very humbled, very blessed, no doubt about that.
So how does that help you plan for next summer? So you do this.
It's all about numbers, Rick. I used to could look at number, and I'm a big numbers guy, and I do a report every week to see how many teams we've had sanction or register with us company-wide throughout the country, and then how many teams we've had pre-register for the World Series. And that can kind of give me a good barometer of what the season is going to look like. And just last week, I looked at the numbers for the first time really hard, and we're already about 30 teams ahead of pace from a year ago.
Wow.
Which is a little scary in the fact that we're getting to capacity.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Which is a great thing, and the fact is that's, for instance, our second week of our World Series this past year, we were at full capacity at both the new complex as well as Frank Brown Park. And that's what we want to be for all 4 weeks. So, hopefully teams will spread out a little bit
right.
and not pick that 1 week, which it seems like they always do.
So if you reach capacity, I mean, I know you can't take any more of the capacity, but what about the teams that qualify? What happens to them?
We always hold we have placeholders that we always hold for those teams. And then those teams actually have 30 days prior to the event to declare. And then if they don't, then we open that spot up.
Okay. So you really can't overbook then.
No.
That's the way it's set up. Okay. Yeah. Just the way it's
I made that mistake one time, and that won't ever happen.
Isn't that amazing what experience teaches us? Yeah. Well, good deal. So you do the economic benefit to the community is huge, and like you said, traffic. But one thing I've learned from working there the last 16 months, traffic means business,
That's
and
right.
you have to look at
Yes,
it like that.
no doubt.
So, but I do wish there was like a private road that only PCB residents knew about.
Only the locals.
Yeah. You have to have like a certain
That'd be nice.
buzzer or something to let you in. Yeah. But no, it's always good because the economic impact on the area is huge.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Steiner Event Group. Steiner Event Group is a national event planner that produces results for their clients. They offer event and wedding planning on any scale, hosting bridal shows, scouting talented models, and producing riveting concept photo shoots to help their clients expand their brands, products, and services. Whether you're a business professional aiming to take your brand to the next level, planning a corporate or private event, a bride seeking to have the wedding of your dreams, or a model ready to be discovered, Steiner Event Group is ready for you.
It is. And the restaurants, like I said, I tell people all the time that you can blame me for the traffic, you can blame me for not being able to go out to eat without an hour or so wait, and that's fine because I would rather you be blaming me than saying, hey, where are the teams? We need the teams.
Yeah.
So everybody I've talked to had the best year they've ever had this past year. So that's exciting, and it bodes well for the future. I mean, I've said it till I'm blue in the face. When you take the world's most beautiful beaches and you take events, not just Grand Slam, but all the events that come here, that's a winning combination. You can't beat that.
Well, and two great facilities to host these events.
No doubt.
Too. That's huge.
And they're first class facilities. They're not. I've traveled the entire country and played and hosted events at facilities, and you're not going to find a town that's got two first-class facilities like Panama City Beach does. And we take that for granted a lot of times, but I can tell you from doing this for as long as I have that it's just not existing anywhere but here.
Well, and also in addition to your tournaments that you host, they're tournaments all summer long, from softball to
everything,
co-ed to just a little bit of everything. So it's always amazing.
And sports is a huge economic impact driver for this destination. Always has been. And with a new facility, catering mostly to rectangular sports, soccer, lacrosse, 7-on-7 football, things along those lines, that's just going to bring more people in. And that's why you're seeing more condos, more hotels being built, and why you see more apartment complexes. So it's all, it just goes around, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Well, good. So Shannon, why don't you talk about the Beach Care Board that you all are.
So everybody already knows that I'm part of Beach Care Services, and Larry this year is our president of Beach Care Services on the board. So do you want to tell us a little bit about why you got involved? I mean, I know you do so much for our community, and then to add a charity now, and then this and that. And do you want to tell us a little bit about what brought you to Beach Care and why you were the president? What made you say, yes, I'll do that?
Because nobody else would know.
That's probably a true story.
We always, Grand Slam always put a team in the golf tournament that Beach Care hosted. and we basically put a team in pretty much every tournament that was in town. But something about Beach Care every year that we played in that event, it was a feeling that I got that, hey, this is a pretty awesome organization. So I looked into it, and then one day Skip Stoltz, who was on the board of Beach Care for many years and who's been with Domino's for many years, he approached me and said, hey, would you like to be on the board of Beach Care? And I said, man, that would be awesome. And I had a passion for it. And having been on the board now for 5 years, it's amazing what this board and what this organization does.
It's a very talented board.
Yes, excluding the president. I'm just up there as the figurehead this year, leading a group of wonderful and outstanding individuals that are worker bees that just do so much to provide for people who are down on their luck in the community, whether it's with a partial rental payment or a utility payment or a trolley pass or helping to find a job or whatever that they may need at that time. And to know that I'm part of a group that impacts this community like that is so fulfilling.
Right.
And we were talking, Mark Sheldon was on a previous podcast, and he was talking about the board and how we had our meeting yesterday and how since the passing of Pine, we all just became more passionate and more vicious about we're going to raise more money and we're going to keep his name out there because he didn't start this to let it go. And I think our meeting yesterday really put us all in check. We're going to make this bigger and better, and in his honor. He's been amazing, and he's done some great. I can't even say all the things that he's done. He's just so amazing, and he'll be sorely missed. And I just think Beach Care Services carrying on in his honor will be exactly what he wants.
There's no doubt about that, Shannon. And as I said yesterday, I feel like it's our job as board members and responsibility to carry on that legacy. And you're right. I think we had a lot of passion in that meeting yesterday, and it was an emotional day. But at the end of the day, I think all it does is reaffirm the individuals on that board and the passion and the excitement, and now with a little extra incentive to make sure, hey, Pine's watching down on us, and we don't want to be the ones that let him down. So
no way.
We're going to work extra hard to make sure that Beach Care Services is as vibrant and better for this community as ever.
Well, I didn't know him but a short time, and just the impact that he had on me already just is phenomenal, because he truly would give you the shirt off his back, and he helped so many people, and probably more ways than we know.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, we see on the outside, we have no idea what he's doing.
Exactly.
And he did.
I will tell you a really quick, funny story. The first time I ever saw Bill Buskell was I had just not been in down here very long. First 5 years, I guess, of Grand Slam. And I was at a TDC meeting, and this gentleman, dressed in flip-flops and shorts and, kind of raggedy shirt and all, ambles up to the podium. I'm like, oh, wow. And wants to talk about bringing a jazz musical event to Pineapple Willie's. And I'm thinking, okay. I had no idea who the man was. So after the meeting, I was told, you know who that was? I said, no. He said, that's the owner of Pineapple Willie's. I said, huh? And then I started to get to know more and more about him, and wow, it was just the last time I talked to him was when he presented us with a check after Pay It Forward, and he grabbed me by the arm. He said, "I apologize for not getting to many meetings here lately," and that was it. That was what he said to me. That was just a few weeks ago. But you're right, Shannon. He's going to be sorely missed. But man, what a job we have in front of us as Beach Care board members to continue on now.
With By the Sea Resorts, you have so many options, you never have to settle. By the Sea Resorts offers 5 restaurants and 11 hotels where you can enjoy the sights and the sounds of the Gulf. spread out in spacious guest rooms. Or book your next event or meeting in one of our many customizable spaces. For dining, we're serving up sunshine and good times at all 3 of our Barefoot restaurant locations. Or experience waterfront dining at the Shrimp Boat Restaurant. And enjoy live entertainment every weekend at House of Bourbon by the Sea Resorts. We're saving you a front row seat.
That's right.
It's something I just thought of. I don't know if you remember this. Pine was on our podcast last month when we recorded, and he's just fun. Like you, when he's talking, you're just sitting here, just listening, and waiting to see what's going to come out of his mouth. But he said something about the Jazz Festival, and I said, "Well, would you ever host that again?" And he goes, "No, I lost $1 million on that. I'm done with it." Do you remember that? Yeah. And so I sent him a text later thanking him for being on the podcast and how much I enjoyed it. If I could ever do anything, let me know. And he replied, "Ditto." And I sent it to Shannon. I'm like, I think this is a good thing. Yeah,
that was a really good thing.
Pine, it was one of those people too that he was always big about people giving back to the community. And I remember going to Shannon years ago and saying, Pineapple Willie's, they don't like Grand Slam, they don't sponsor. And she actually went to Pine for me, and Pine said, I don't know that he gives back to the community enough. Mm-hmm. And that hit home with me.
Interesting.
I mean, that hit home with me big time. And so from that moment on, I've tried to do my part because Pine's the one that pushed me to do that. And I had a lot to be thankful for. But I'm sure Shannon will remember that story.
Oh, yeah, I do. That was amazing. But, that was the truth.
It was.
He could have said,
just being real.
Not interested, but what he had said really helped you.
Sure.
And now you're impacting our community with giving back.
Right.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, he's a Panama City Beach Chamber member.
Really? Is that?
Yeah. And he also sponsors several of our events. He's just sponsored our golf, or no, not, well, always. He's part of our golf tournament, always. Even if he's not there, he's still part of our golf tournament if he's having a tournament himself. But he sponsored our bowling tournament, and now he's sponsoring our Christmas party that we're going to have in December. So
really?
He's making sure he's always trying to give back. Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
How can I help?
That's good.
Which is amazing, because a lot of people like to make their money and put it in their pockets, but he likes to make the money and spread it back out around the town, where he lives, which is awesome.
We're not a brick and mortar, business. We're not a business that's going to open its doors and people are going to come in and buy our goods, in this community. That's not what we are. We are an event producing company, and so these tournaments that we bring in and the people that we bring in, that's what I feel like we do as far as bringing back to the community. But then it goes beyond that because I live here. So living here, you take a vested interest in your community as well. So it's different when you live somewhere and you work there and you do something like we do because you've got a vested interest in it.
Right.
And I do know, in the event business, I do go to other places and run events, but then I come home to Panama City Beach,
yeah.
So, but giving back to my home base is very, very important because Panama City Beach has been so good to me. In Grand Slam, we want to make sure we repay that favor.
Right. Okay, so on a personal note, you just became a grandpa.
I did.
And you have I
have a granddaughter, Finley Ann Thompson, apple of Pawpaw's eye. And, I just, you see my smile gets really, really big
Absolutely.
when talking about her. But, she is just turned a year old, as a matter of fact. And,
wow,
a year. And it's just... time flies when you're having fun, but she's amazing. She keeps her dad on his toes as a football coach up in Georgia. But yes, I never knew. People always told me, they said, "Wait till you have grandkids. It's amazing. It'll
things
blow
will
you."
Change.
And I said, well, whatever. Okay, I get it now. I do. I understand now. Believe me.
So Larry and I are sort of neighbors. There's a big street between us. So we'd run into each other at the grocery store, and he has his favorite watering hole. He goes, "Okay, that's my area. Don't cross that line." No, I'm just kidding. But it's so funny because now we're neighbors, so we see each other much more often than we did. So
you can't get away from her.
You know what?
He tries.
That I tell, and Shannon will tell you this. But anybody new comes to town And look, here's who you need to know. Shannon Richmond, because she knows everybody, and she is famous for her quote of she can connect the dots. And so everybody that's new coming to town, I put them on to Shannon.
There you go.
Well, when I was referred to Shannon, and the lady told me, she said, you need to go by the chamber and meet Shannon while you're in town. So I did, because we were here for the week that summer, and went back to the condo, and Davey said, well, how did your meeting go? And I said, it went really well. I'm a member of the chamber now. She's like, you're what? So,
yeah, if you were not a member when you met with her, you were going to be before you left. That's no doubt about that. But I can't say enough. The chamber's been amazing for me. I mean, simply because, and it's kind of what I was alluding to a while ago, is the chamber's great for any kind of business. But, for me, just to let the other businesses know that we appreciate them and what they do when we bring these people to town. It's that's kind of why I enjoy being a member of the chamber.
And didn't you win a big award? Like a big award?
I think a few years back we were the what was it? The Business of the Year, something like that.
Just something like that. Yeah, that's great.
Look, we try to. You have to stay humble. You have to stay humble.
So, where are you from originally?
Originally, so I was born in Ocala, Florida, but was only there for 2 years. And so grew up in a little town called Pine Mountain, Georgia, or should I say Callaway Gardens. People have heard of Callaway Gardens and not Pine Mountain, but it's about an hour south of Atlanta, and grew up on a farm in the country, and I'm just a country boy that nobody really knows that side about me, but that's
interesting.
Yeah.
And you saw him light up when he got to talk about his granddaughter.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm a Georgia boy living in Florida, but I love where I live now. Thankful for everything that happens in this great state.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Orville's Men's Store. Thank you, Orville's Men's Store, for supplying the men's clothing for today's podcast. For the absolute best in casual and dress wear for men, visit orvillesms.com. That's ORVILLESMS.com.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And back to the grandchildren real quickly. It's amazing what they can do, that your children, and you'll find this out as she gets older too, that if your child did it, you were furious. But they're the cutest thing ever, and when they do it, it's like it.
I laugh at my son and his wife at times, and they say, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "No, I just remember some of the things y'all used to say, and now I'm looking at you doing the exact opposite." So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's payback, but it's fun to watch it.
And it's great. You can have fun and everything. Then when they get fussy, hey, JT, Shalia, come get your daughter.
Well, we always joke it's great to see the headlights come down the driveway, and it's so exciting to see the tail lights leave. And then they're gone for like 10 minutes, and you have a house that's quiet.
Yep.
And then we're FaceTiming on the way back to when they're driving back to Louisville, FaceTime the entire time. And couldn't wait to have the house to ourselves, and then that changed. So, well, good. So what's next on your agenda? So I know you've got the tournaments, but what do you do in your downtime?
Well, in the fall is kind of my downtime, and I spend a lot of time in Georgia. My son and my adopted son are both high school football coaches, and they fortunately now coach at the same school in South Georgia. And so try not to miss a Friday night football game in Georgia.
That's
go
great.
up and watch them coach and spend some time with the granddaughter. And, I'm a huge Georgia Bulldog fan, and Falcon fan and Braves fan. How about those Braves? Was very fortunate to go to World Series game. I think I went to game number 3. Game 3. And just huge sports fan. Imagine that, owning a sports company. But that's, I enjoy being around sports and my family during my downtime. That's what I try to do.
I don't think you have a lot of downtime. I know the fall, but still, you're still preparing.
We're gearing up already for next year, and there's a lot on on our plate. But I have found that family is everything to me, and I'm going to make time for that during the fall. I put a lot of other things to the side, and it's what I prioritize. So.
Well, you have to, because if not, like you say, it keeps you grounded, keeps the vision where it should be in the focus. So that makes a huge difference.
Isn't that funny that he echoed what Mark said about
family
and children?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who we are here.
Yeah.
Well, it's several people. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's, I think people lose sight of that. I unfortunately lost my mom and dad, at early ages, 66 and 69. So, having one and only having the one son. So, I have a very small family, and, it's just when you don't have that family, or when you lose that family, it hits home. So I just tell everybody, look, family is everything. And sometimes, maybe I put a little bit too much time, but I don't see how you can do that. So.
No, you can't do that. That's for sure. So what do you think attracts so many people? I mean, I know we have the beaches.
I was going to say, have you seen that white stuff out there around that water?
I mean, but it's more than that, though, because you have a lot of people coming here that never go to the beach, and I know it sounds crazy, but
no, you do.
I've talked to several people, and they're like, well, we actually haven't had time for the beach. And I'm thinking, you come to the most beautiful beaches in the world, but you don't have time to go.
Well, I think the events themselves, if you look at the spectrum of events from youth baseball, youth softball, and then just coming off the Ironman, triathlon, and then the musical events, Gulf Coast Jam, Seabreeze Jazz Fest, Unwind, Home for the Holiday, that list, a Bike Week,
Chamber has a marathon that's a Boston qualifier.
I mean, you go on and on and on about the just not small events. These are marquee national type events that are coming to this destination. Exactly. And so because you've got some of those events, you've got other events that want to come here. But you've got the beaches, you've got a tremendous retail establishment here, and it's just a lure of what we're not a big city. We're kind of a laid back, come rest and relax. And if you want to go to the beach, okay. But if you want to sit and maybe open the window and listen to the waves, okay too.
Yeah. Well, good deal. I wanted to bring that up because I want people to know it's more than just the beaches. Not that there's anything wrong with the beaches. Don't get me wrong. So, and all that can be found on the chamber website.
Absolutely.
Okay, on the calendar. Good deal. Well, Larry, thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Good.
Go Dogs.
That's right. Well, that concludes this episode of Luxe Life Discovered. So stay with us as we have Derek with Habitat Flooring on our next episode, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you. Join us next time for another Luxe Life Discovered.